Hi there, good noon and welcome to our session on Maharashtra CET MBA. So, how are you guys doing? What's up? What's the latest that is happening at your end? And how's your preparation of Maharashtra CET shaping up, by the way? Huh? How's it going? So by now a lot of you had been waiting for this particular session where you'd asked me about dedicated sessions on Maharashtra CET, and here we are. In fact, even yesterday the session that I took was actually directly relevant for Maharashtra CET because it picked up one of the topics, one of the areas that gets asked there frequently. Unfortunately, I had to curtail it a bit because I started facing some issue with my equipment. My computer suddenly started making a lot of noise, but otherwise, yeah. And here is the next session where we go ahead and focus exclusively, dedicatedly on Maharashtra CET alone. So let's go in. And before I start with this, let me tell you that we have actually launched a special batch for Maharashtra CET. It is our crash course, and in this particular crash course we are going to offer you at least 55 live classes to cover all those things, all those topics, all those areas that have not been covered with the other exams and that are unique to Maharashtra CET. Then there are quite a few things that are relevant to Maharashtra CET, but then there are also things that are asked in SNAP, NMAT, etc. So when we conducted those sessions there, we saved the recordings of those live classes for you, and they are also going to be part of this particular bundle. And additionally, there are going to be 250 pre-recorded lectures that cover all the foundations and all the concepts. Besides, you'd get 12 mocks that are based on the actual exam pattern, and all of this can be yours for a very, very reasonable price. And hopefully when we add these 3,500 plus practice questions, I think it will become an absolutely killer deal. If in case you need to know anything more, you can always reach out to us using the app, or you can drop in a message here. You can also fill out that counseling form, mentoring form, where you get to sit down with one of us one-on-one, where we take care of your questions, your concerns. So even if you're not very sure of whether this course is for you or not, is very relevant for you or not, you can always fill that out and figure it out for yourself. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into our Maharashtra CET bit. So here is an overview of the exam, and until then, who all is there? Akash Roy, oh, Vaheguru ji, badi mehr karan putter tere te vi, Anushri, Rohit, and you're like, not good. What happened, Akash? Sonal, good noon. Interview for my college, it went excellent. So it's all right. It's absolutely okay. Yeah. Preet, I am not 100% certain of the price, but I was, when I was in the office a few days ago and the team was discussing, I think it is going to be around 5,500, 6,000. That's the range that they were looking at. So you'd get to know the exact price once you reach out to us. I'll also figure out, and hopefully we'll be able to tell it to you by the next class. Huh? But I'm sorry, I don't have that exact information as of now. Okay, so Maharashtra CET can be very different from a lot of other exams that you've written, and here is why. Test duration 150 minutes, but the weird thing is that in these 150 minutes you are supposed to answer 200 questions. So that's like one huge difference. Here is the marking scheme. So you get +1 for every question that you get right, and there is no negative marking. So coming from all these exams, okay, you talk about, you've written CAT, you've written SNAP, there were negative marking, ZAT, there was negative marking. For that matter, they deducted marks even for leaving some questions out. And here is an exam where they say that, hey, no negative marking, which means that your number of attempts in Maharashtra CET are going to be 200. But that said, whatever I'm sharing with you is based on the previous year patterns. Things may change this year. So do read the directions very carefully when the actual exam starts. Then the next bit, sections. So it gives you logical reasoning, which has a good 75 questions, and these logical reasoning is going to belong to a lot of different areas. Quite a few of these are going to be verbal reasoning questions too. So you need to master that bit. Then you have abstract reasoning, all those visual reasoning kind of questions with those boxes and all. So 25 questions of that, then quant 50, and finally VA and RC throwing in or giving you another 50 odd questions. Now within the verbal ability and reading comprehension section, the kind of things that you need to be ready for are, of course, reading comprehension, because the name says RC, but then grammar, a lot of it, and a lot of it is going to be error identification. Then you will also see quite a few vocabulary based questions. Then hi Shubham, thoughts on MIT WPU Pune? Okay. You ask me about any college, I'd say it's a good college. Whether it is good for you or not is a different story altogether. Akash. Akash, in fact, your message gives the solution. So you're saying that you're unable to focus on one source. So all that you need to do is focus on one source. And when we say focus on one source, we know that if you go online, there are plenty of different sessions that keep on happening, platforms that offer input, books that are there to prepare. You just need to make up your mind on picking up one of those and then go through it. Once you've gone through that one source, you can always move over to some other source thereafter. So just decide. It's not that difficult, right? So just move over to the source that you trust the most, you believe is closest to you, and that should work. Okay, sorry, it's Aksh. I was reading it as Akash initially. So Aksh, right? So vocabulary based questions, and then additionally you do get quite a few fill in the blanks. Now normally fill in the blanks can be based on grammar or vocabulary, but Maharashtra CET does give us some new types as well. We will talk about it subsequently. And then of course para jumble. So these are the 5 dominant areas that you need to focus on. In this particular session, I will put you through the paces. We'll focus on all of these things. Plus, if time permits, I have added a few questions of verbal reasoning as well. If time permits, we'll go ahead and have a look at those too. Right? So, this is for you, Aksh. So, no matter what, at the end of the day, the chief bit that counts is the smile on our lips. No matter what the life throws at us, we don't whine, we don't complain. We just take actions that are needed to be taken, and in case we are not very sure of which actions to take, we reach out to those who can mentor us. And in your case, we are there. Just fill out that counseling form, and you can definitely get that high quality mentoring. So let's get into it. So here are the directions for questions 1 to 5. These 5 are going to be fill in the blank questions. And my throat suddenly is not working right since the afternoon. What's happening with me? Ready? Ready? Just a sec, yaar. I need a glass of water, and just give me a very brief moment. I leave you with a question. I'll not leave you hanging. I'll leave you with a question, although the question won't take you that long. But here it is. Go ahead, attempt this fill in the blank, and I'll give you 30 odd seconds for this question. Your time starts now. Go ahead, attempt it, and then we'll see. Okay, so I am back and hopefully with a better, more open, boomy voice throat. Sounds better, feels better. And so what's your take on this particular question? What did you go ahead and choose? Let me see. Okay, so loads of B's and loads of C's, you'd be really happy to know that the correct answer here is option C. So quite a few of you are definitely right. So let's go ahead and have a look at all these different words here. I think the trickiest one is A, carrot. Remember carrot, that vegetable that rabbits are supposedly very fond of, but all of you know it. Okay, then let's look at the B, carrot. B, carrot is a mark used by an author or an editor to indicate where something is to be inserted in a text. So you remember there are times when you write a line and then you put this symbol. So for instance, if I want to add something to the sentence that is given to you, I'll put this in. Yeah. And then I'll write whatever I want to write up here. So this symbol is called a caret. And then you have this C, caret with a K. This C with a K is a measure of purity of gold. So 1 carat is equal to the 24th part of pure gold in an alloy. So 1 carat is 1 by 24th part gold. Okay. So we of course also use carat with a C, C-A-R-A-T. So in the jewelry world, that C-A-R-A-T carat and K-A-R-A-T carat actually have distinct meanings. Whereas C-A-R-A-T carat usually denotes the size of a stone, whereas K-A-R-A-T carat denotes the purity of the gold. So when you talk about stuff like diamond, you use C. So carat, C, unit of weight. So it talks about the weight of a gemstone like a diamond, all that. And then of course we have D, chariot. Chariot is a two-wheeled vehicle that is drawn by horses. It was used in the ancient times for racing, for warfare, for transport and all that. Okay. So you remember absolutely X2OM2703. I will call him X2 henceforth. You are anointed X2. So remember 24K gold. That K is carat. That's a carat with a K. And then X2, isn't it carat? E spelling mistake? Nah, that's a different word altogether. So now you know. So hopefully you learned a bit from it. And that's why the correct answer is C. And here is your next question now. Go ahead, give this a shot. Okay, where is the timer? Okay, so I forgot the timer. Okay, now let me just start the timer. By then, hopefully, I'll get the answers. SKP has chosen C. Yogesh has gone with D. Another C. And one more C. C seems to be winning the race so far. But just 4 of you have answered. SKP, Yogesh, Vaibhav, Saurabh. What about the rest of us? See, even if you're not sure of the meanings of this word, take a guess, yaar. Come on. Take a guess. Give it a shot. Okay. So, one thing that we know is that we need a negative word here, right? Because people were laughing at it. Has to be something that is negative. Now, insidious. Insidious is harmful. While my peers laughed at my design and called it harmful. Nah. When something is harmful, you don't laugh at it, you worry about it. So that is gone. Salubrious. Salubrious is something that is good for health. So remember in the olden times, whenever somebody fell ill, they were advised, go to Shimla and the climate, stay there for a month. The climate will be good for you. So it's a salubrious climate of Shimla. Then Jejun. Jejun is unsophisticated. Jejun is very simple. What's wrong? Okay, so hang on here. I think I just need to tinker with the settings a bit. Hopefully that will help me. So unsophisticated. There is something wrong with my tablet. This is a bit of a problem today. What's happening? And what is wrong? I am not able to reach the bottom properly, and that's causing me a bit of an issue, but let's see how I can fix it. Does this help? Hang on. So yeah, I think I actually lost my pen tab yesterday. I'm using a borrowed one and it is giving me some trouble. So I'll just read out more. So Jejun is unsophisticated, Jejun is childlike, Jejun is uninteresting. So that's probably going to be more in line with what this particular sentence says. So definitely closer, right? So I'd say that we go ahead and pick up Jejun as our best answer choice. So option C. I'm not able to use the bottom half for some strange reason. And that is a little weird. That's a little disconcerting, but anyhow. And then you have savant. Savant is somebody who is a genius, a person with a very exceptionally high level of knowledge or skill, especially somebody who is less able in some other ways. Their social skills may suffer a lot and all that. So that's basically a savant. So savant obviously is used for persons, it is not used for a design, and therefore can be ruled out relatively easily. Okay, so I hope that helps. So now I think I've managed to fix the problem, and that is why the best answer here should be option C. No, I thought that I fixed it, but I'm not able to fix it so far. Okay, the next question. Here it is on your screen, and your time starts now. SKP sentence, we'd have questions on everything. Don't worry. Sentence correction, as many as you want. If you're not taking it on YouTube, we can always do it on the app, over Zoom, whatever. We'll see. So there you go. The dash mood of the usually quiet mentor made the interns dash during the meeting. So let's see. So let's quickly go on to have a look at the meanings of all of these words that we see here. Puckish. Puckish means somebody who's humorous, somebody who's likely to make jokes about other people and play silly tricks on them, pranks on them. Okay. So a synonym will be something like impish. So if I say the puckish mood of the usually quiet mentor made the interns querulous during the meeting. If your boss, if your mentor is in a great, funny, jovial mood, why will you be querulous? Where querulous means complaining, whining, fighting, so won't work. Loquacious mood of the usually quiet mentor. Loquacious is somebody who is very talkative. Made the interns perplexed, confused. That's possible. He's usually quiet. He's talking so much today. What's happening? That's possible. So loquacious can go in the first blank. Perplexed works for the second. Loquacious in the first. Querulous, loquacious won't make them querulous, so C is ruled out. Puckish and perplexed won't work, so the best answer choice that we have is option B. So the problem with D, puckish, perplexed, is that it does not go that well with usually quiet mentor. So if it's usually quiet, then the opposite would be, so it should be the opposite behavior of that, and that is where loquacious scores over puckish, and that is why I will go with B and rule out A, C and D. So B it is. Okay, then the next question for you on the screen, here it is. The time starts now. This tests more of your grammar. Let's see. All right, so the correct answer to question number 4 is option B. I don't know whether you have chosen this or not, but this is going to be the correct answer. So you cure somebody of a disease. You cure somebody of a problem. So we needed off in the first blank, and that basically unlocked the answer for me. And here is the next one. Question number 5 on the screen. Another one that tests you on confusables, and your time starts now. X2, you're talking about the 5th one being easy. Okay, let's see. See, I label most of the questions as easy, but then I also know that I can be wrong. So I just look at whether people get the answers right or not. So if majority of the people attempt the question and get the answer right, then I know that this was easy. Okay, so let us get into our question number 5. The correct answer here, in fact, why do I need to give you the correct answer? I can give you the meanings. So P-A-L-A-T-E, palate, basically means the top part of the inside of your mouth. Okay, so that's palate. And then the next one, P-A-L-E-T-T-E, palette, is a thin board or slab which an artist uses to mix colors. You know this bit? Here is the photograph. This is called a palette. So that's your second one. All right. Then you have this P-A-L-L-E-T, palette. This pallet is a flat wooden structure that heavy goods are put on so that they can be moved easily using a tow truck, lifting truck. So this is P-A-L-E-T-T-E pallet. This is P-A-L-L-E-T pallet. So what do you want? Can I use this palette in the first blank? I cannot. Can I use this? Yes. This, yes, this, yes. So the other three can go in the first blank. But if you look at B, the palette in the B is wrong. And that wooden structure is unlikely to be lying on. So a bigger thing is unlikely to be lying on a smaller thing. So D is also ruled out. That is why the best answer is going to be option C. So Sumit, good attempt, but unfortunately, I mean, there are times when tukkas work, there are times when they don't, but you know, Vaibhav, I've been doing tons of things, but we are fixing it, don't worry. I'm fixing it, so we gradually get there. And I will do that straight away. I'll also put some salt in it once the session is over. So that's about fill in the blanks. So I hope you learned confusables, grammar, vocabulary, all these things play a role in these questions apart from a bit of comprehension and a bit of logic. Here's a set of questions that can be a part of logical reasoning. So in the logical reasoning, we get these questions called analogies. So some of these analogies are based on pure logic, and then some of these analogies can also be based on language, right? So let us go ahead and have a look at this first question. What would you choose as the answer here? Sorry, I should at least save you the trouble by muting myself. Yes, that is exactly why you should join the Maharashtra CET batch. ऐसा कुछ नहीं अरे ये you hear a lot of things in news, not all of them paint the exact picture. Don't worry, you're not going anywhere. Okay, so the correct answer is indeed option C. So these are called verbal analogy questions. So what exactly is verbal analogy? In these questions, the examiner would typically give you a pair of two things. They will give you a pair. Why am I adding two things? So you need to understand the relationship between those two things and go ahead, pick up a similar pair as your answer. So when I say verbal analogy, that pair is going to be a pair of words. Okay. So how do we approach these questions? Look at those two words given to you in the questions. We call them stem words and establish a relationship between them. Right? Then the next thing that you do is frame a simple sentence that uses both the words and capture their relationship. Step 3, go to the answer choices, eliminate. If needed, come back and refine the relationship further. So in case you don't reach a unique answer, you can always come back and refine it further. All right. So in this case, when you look at these two stem words, melt is to liquid, my sentence was when you melt something, it turns into liquid or it becomes liquid. Or it reaches the liquid state. Similarly, when you freeze something, it reaches a solid state, and that is why the answer is C. Okay, then there are different relationship types that you can encounter. Okay, part of speech, tool is to function, part is to hold, degree of intensity, blah blah blah, plenty of them. So I don't think you even need those formulae, but the more questions you practice, the clearer it becomes for you. So here is the next one, and your time starts now. So what exactly do we mean by particular and fussy? If you know the meanings of these two words, you've probably established the relationship. In case you haven't, well, let me pitch in. So somebody who is particular is somebody who is not very easily satisfied. Somebody who demands that close attention be given to every detail. Fuzzy is a synonym, and you can link both of these words with this very beloved character from the Big Bang Theory. Particular, fussy. Right? So what is the relationship between the two? Both of these are synonyms. So which means that you want a word here which is a synonym of subservient. So what exactly is subservient? Subservient is somebody who is prepared to obey others unquestioningly. Somebody who is ready to serve under others without any issues. So let's look at it. A, meek. Meek is somebody who is quiet and who is unwilling to disagree. Can be a synonym. Above, definitely not. Cranky. Cranky is somebody who is easily annoyed, easily upset. And uptight. Uptight is somebody who is very worried, very nervous, somebody who is not able to relax. I see quite a few uptight individuals right before an exam. So I generally tell them, hey, do not get uptight about the exam. Just go and do your best. Why do you need to worry? So I think the best answer here is going to be option A, and quite a few of you have managed to get this right. So Yash, SKP, Om, Snehal, absolutely guys, absolutely. Right, and here is the next one, the last verbal analogy of the day. Attempt this carefully. Pay close attention. Don't solve it hastily. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what you choose. So blunder and error both are synonyms. So if you go by just synonyms, you will narrow it down to A and B, C and D are ruled out. So which one of the two should be chosen? So look at, so that is where refining it further comes into picture. So if you look at blunder and error, what is the difference there? Can I say a blunder is a big error? So blunder is a bigger degree of error, a higher degree of error. So the first word is a higher degree, the second one is a smaller degree. Now when I look at option A, anger is to rage, rage is a higher degree. It is the second word that has the higher degree, so the order is not right. But when you look at euphoria and happiness, euphoria is higher degree of happiness and happiness is smaller degree of euphoria. So that order is better, is correct in B, and that is why our answer should be B instead of A. So Vijay, Akash, Asmita, so this is the lesson here, okay? We also need to go by that order whenever degree of intensity gets involved. It's a very tiny little thing, huh? Otherwise you got everything else right. So good job. All right, so here is the next one. So I will give you a sentence which is divided into some parts. One of those parts may have a grammatical mistake. Choose that part as your answer, or mark the corresponding letter to that part as your answer. So X2, ready? Here you go. What's your take? Kulkul, I like that response. Sumit, absolutely, absolutely. If rage is to anger in option A, then we can't choose. Then it will become a wrong question. Then both of them will become right. Okay, Sumit. All right, so my answer here is option C. Instead of there, it should be his or her. The reason is every man and woman is considered a singular expression. So, you know, pronouns are supposed to agree with the number of the noun that they refer to, because it is a singular expression. You know. You need to use a singular pronoun. And that is why the correct answer is option C. Everything else in this sentence is absolutely okay in terms of grammar. Right? I give you the next one. Here you go. Question number 10 on your screen. I know 30 seconds are a bit too tight for it, but it's okay. You can post your answer even after those 30 seconds. All right. So the correct answer here is Option D, there is no error in it. This sentence is absolutely okay. So if I were is correct, remember when we talk about hypothetical situations. In grammar, a lot of people make this mistake. So I'm writing this subject area. It's called subjunctive mood. Okay, it troubles a lot of people. So just read up on subjunctive mood, and in case you are facing issues in subjunctive mood, you're like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, let me know and I will then teach it to you, but do put in some effort. So in those situations we use where, always where, irrespective of whether the subject is singular or plural. So this is absolutely correct. There is nothing wrong in it. I would put on a happy face. Is it justify it? How do I justify something that is right? I think one of the ways in which you can look at is you can look at it as a phrasal verb. So put on is a phrasal verb. So put on basically means to place something like a garment, a piece of jewelry on your body, or part of one's body. So put on a happy face is just make sure that you have a smiling face. So that's correct. We do use it. So that should work. And you'd find it very often. Put on a brave face, put on a happy face, used very commonly. So put on a happy face would simply mean just project that you're happy, whether you are or you're not. So to appear happy even when you're not. It's more or less an idiomatic expression in that sense. Okay, so let's move over to the next one. Here it is. Saloni, B was right. Nothing wrong with where. Read up subjunctive mood. So this is a question that I think a lot of you who have started working on grammar will find easy. So in this particular sentence, the subject side is this, but within this subject side, the group is the noun that acts as a subject of nurses is an adjective phrase. Now you know that your verb is supposed to agree with the noun of the subject. The noun is group, which is singular. So instead of are, it should be is, and that is why your answer is A. So as a thumb rule, the noun that comes after a preposition is not a subject, is not the subject. Your verb does not agree with that. There are two exceptions to it, but as a rule, whatever comes after a preposition is not your subject, barring those two exceptions that we can talk about someday while working on subject-verb agreement. Let's see. Okay, so here is the next one. I'll give you some extra time. Give you some extra time. Okay, now start. Alright, so the correct answer here is very subtle. I don't know how many of you have gone on to identify it, but it is A. Now that I have given you the right answer, can you tell me what is wrong with A? Yes, that is right. A is in fact correct. Done. So, bacteria is plural. Bacterium is singular. So, bacterium is singular. Bacteria is plural. Can we use a before a plural noun? We cannot. Outbreak is singular. Absolutely, Sumit. So that is what is wrong with this part, and that is why this is the answer. Yes, you're absolutely right here. I was a little occupied, but with yesterday being Lodi and all, but moving forward, I will definitely start adding those additional options too. I think conceptually it does not make a difference, but I hear you here. I'd absolutely do that. Okay, and here is the next one. Question number 13 on your screen. Okay, so the correct answer is B. You know why? The person is talking about the airport. The person is talking about boarding, so that confirms that it is an airport. So how can you have a train there? How do you get a train at the airport? So it should have been a plane. Absolutely, yes, Bharat. So that is why option B. So here I did have some more logic based questions for you, but unfortunately I've ran out of time today. So I'm gonna stop here. I am gonna stop here today. But in case you happen to have any question, any issue, any concern, yeah, feel more than free to ping me and tell me what it is that you need to talk about. So any questions that you may have? So otherwise, once again, we have a dedicated course for Maharashtra CET. You can consider joining that. You can fill out that counseling form and reach out to us for a one-on-one call. And there are all these places that you can follow us on and drop us messages on, and we can, of course, go ahead and get in touch with you. So looking forward to working with you a lot more on all of these question types. And once again, thank you, Yash. That was a very valuable suggestion. And how do you say that? Tumcha divas changla jao. Have a great day ahead. Until I see you next, take care and have a great time. See you soon.